Hi everyone, happy Saturday. I hope you have really super enjoyed what we've done so far for our 12 days of holidays. You've seen 4 card presentations, and already this morning you have seen 3 anything but a card or ABC presentations. So everybody has done a really good job. If you have not watched them yet, please make sure you go back and watch them. There are just so many wonderful ideas there, and then we've got our tips and tricks during our regular 12 days of holidays. So this is our weekend, and we are doing anything but a card, as you've already seen if you've watched the 3 previous ones. Diane and Maureen and Katie all had fabulous projects. I hope you will be inspired by what I do today too. I'm using the Gingerbread Man Bundle, and that has the gingerbread stamp set. Of course, it is a photopolymer stamp set, and you have these dies, and it comes in a really big package because this is a nice sized die here, and they are connected in the middle, but I will show you how you can make it where you don't have to have the 2 connected pieces or just cut off part of an arm of your gingerbread man. So it has all these great accessories, um, scarf and hat and bow and cup and a lollipop and a peppermint candy and 3 different faces and gumdrops and just so many things that you can do with this set. It also is shown in our catalog, in the new September to December mini catalog. It is shown with the delightful decorative dots. So these are really fun as well. They're nice and glossy. There's maybe just a little bit of an iridescent sheen, and so they look kind of yummy, like candy pieces to put on your gingerbread. So let's go ahead and hopefully everybody, I can't really see your comments. I couldn't see comments when I did it on Thursday either, so I am just not quite sure what is going on, but never fear. We will just carry on and um, go ahead, and you will be able to see what I'm doing um, at a later date if you are watching this on replay. Well, let me go ahead and get going here. Now, I decided to turn this into a little box. So this is my little gingerbread girl box. Um, and I made a little box that slides out, and then you can put something in the inside. So then it just kind of slides back on, and that's my little box that I'm going to show you how to make. So first I needed to decide how big was my box going to be, and it needed to definitely fit on my gingerbread cutout and not hang over. So I kind of played with my measurements, and this is what I came up with. Let me get my little pattern out here. So what I came up with was this, and this is a piece of 3¼ inches this direction and 5¼ inches this direction, and then scored you need 2 pieces of these. Your first piece, you're going to score 1 inch all the way around, and I'll show you that. And your second piece, you're going to go slightly, just a hair less than 1 inch on all 4 sides, so that you do have your your lid will be slightly bigger than your bottom. So let's go ahead and let's get started with that. Here are my pieces. I'm using pecan pie because I felt like that was the closest color to gingerbread. And I wonder if I can see comments on my phone. Yes. Oh, hi. For some reason, my computer is not showing comments, but I do see a couple of you have commented. Thank you very much. Now I know for sure that I'm live, but I'm having to look via my phone because for some reason, Facebook's not playing very nicely with my computer. Oh. All right. So we have our piece, and we're going to go on our trimmer. Um, I have a 1 inch mark on the side. If you don't have a trimmer with a 1 inch mark on the side, you can always do it on the other side. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put that, and I'm going to go 1 inch all the way around with my scoring blade. Make sure it's your scoring blade, the lighter of the two blades. And I'm going to go all the way around on that. And side 3. So we are having nice mid 80s degrees weather again today. Yesterday we were a bit fallish, which was nice at like 70 degrees. But here in Colorado, we have quite the varying temperature from day to day sometimes. Alright, so that is the first piece. The second piece we're going to go slightly smaller. So if you look at on my trimmer here, I have both inches, which is imperial, and metric. And so I am going to go at the 2.5 centimeter mark, which is just a hair smaller than my 1 inch mark. I'm going to do that all the way around again. And I'm doing this in real time so that you can see and you can know that it really was easy to do, and you don't have to stress over trying to make one of these yourself. But you have seen me do it. You can watch me again if you wish, and we have it all ready to go here. So now I need a good sharp pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut along this score line. You know what, sometimes it makes it easier if I just do it like this and go ahead and score my lines first before I start trimming. Sometimes that just makes it just a hair easier. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that on this one as well. Okay, so now we're going to cut right along this score line up to the next score line. And then we're going to cut in just a tiny little sliver on this little flap. Doing it on the flap part, that's kind of important that you do it on the flap part. And just all 4 of these corners. One more corner on this piece. Alright, so that one's ready to go. Now we just got to do the next one. And it's not going to matter if I got these mixed up as to which one is slightly, the one that I scored at slightly less than an inch, because we're going to put the box together. before we assemble things. We're going to marry the two pieces. Not gonna glue them, of course, together. Anyway, we're going to glue the edges. So just go ahead and do all of those on the score line right up to the next score line. Alright, there we have all our slivers ready to go. And I'm going to bring in tear and tape. You could absolutely use some of the multi-purpose liquid glue or the green glue, but I am going to use some tear and tape for this. And let's see. Yes, it goes this way. So I'm just going to put a piece of tear and tape on the four corners. Of both of these pieces. And the tear and tape is nice, really strong adhesive. You could also use the Stamp and Seal Plus for this. I think that would work as well. But I kind of think that this tear and tape is just a slightly stronger bond. Okay, now let me get a take the pick tool out. So we're going to bring up our papers, but not bring the glue up. You don't want to bring the glue up, just the paper. And you can, it is pressure release, so you could like rub it to make sure that that glue is sticking really good. So we're going to get this together, and then we're going to put these two pieces together like this. Come on, what's going on with this one? Oh, I didn't cut it in far enough. That's the problem. There we go. That's better. That'll make us a nice corner now. Oh, I didn't cut it. I didn't do that on a couple of them. I must have been in too big of a hurry. Because I know this is sometimes boring if you already know how to do this. Alright, now we have our little box, and we're going to make the other one. And again, we're just lifting up the paper without the glue. If you're getting the glue, again, rub it with your fingernail or something else. And you can, nope, it's coming up. Rub that down. There we go. One more, and then we can put our box together. Did I cut in all the way? Let me make sure I cut in all the way on all of these corners, all the way up to that next score line, just so our corners will work correctly. All right. let's see which one is going on top and which one's going on bottom. I think this one goes inside. Nope, this one must be going on top. So I made a nice snug fit. And I have a little bit of edges there, but I'm just going to make them a little bit prettier. Because they were hanging out a little more than I wanted beyond my next piece. So that's how you fix that. And I'm not going to worry about the inside one this time, but okay, why is it not working? There we go. It's going to work, promise, I promise. So there we go. Now it slides. Okay, we're going to leave our box like that. So, let's go ahead and let's work on Gingerbread Men, or girls in my case. Let's go ahead and work on that. I have a piece here. This is pecan pie again, and this is 4 inches by 5 inches. Now that's the minimum size you can have. This doesn't have to be exact because we are going to die cut with this. So let's bring in our large Stampin' Cut and Emboss. And it has little pieces of washi tape on here. I don't know if you guys reuse your washi tape and let it hang out on the top of your machine, but that's what I do. I'm going to open it up. I love that our machines fold up. And we're going to bring in our plates. We need the number 1, the number 2, and 2 of the number 3s. We have 2 number 3s here. So you're going to start out, you're going to put the 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to put your paper down, and you're going to bring in the die, that large gingerbread die, and you only want one of them, so we're going to just line it up here. Like I said, this is the minimum size we can have. I'm going to put some washi tape on there to hold it down. We don't want any slippage. And just run it through your die cutting machine. Alright, so now we have our little gingerbread man here. And I want to get a nice rounded there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the opposite side. I'm going to slip that back in here. Slipping it back in, making sure you get it even. And then I'm going to take bone folder and I'm going to run right along that edge there. And that'll give me my nice rounded edge that I need to cut off so that I have a nice rounded edge for my gingerbread man. So there you have it. Now I have a nice rounded, I don't have anything cut off, or, you know, a weird fold or anything like that now. And I have just a tiny little crease there. So I'm going to take my bone folder and smooth that out a little. Now, gingerbread men often have white icing around the edge. And so I've taken that large stamp, oh, and the tip, oh, I should show you this. I'm going to show it on here first because this is not clean and I don't want to, oh, I can do it on the back side. I'll show you on the back side because I still have ink on here from when I was playing around and making my sample. Alright, so you notice, see how interesting this stamp is? And be careful, you don't want to tear it. So in order to get this perfect and get this perfectly lined up, put the stamp side down. This is the back side, so this is not going to be the pretty side. And you're going to line this up on your die cut. And then, when you get it all lined up on your die cut the way you want it, oops, then you're going to take your block and you're going to put your block right on top of it. And there you will have it, and you will get a good image there. You'll get, it will not be distorted or anything like that. Little ink smudges I didn't want. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to show you, we're going to emboss this. I like to use white ink if I'm going to emboss with white embossing powder, but you can use Versamark. I just kind of like the fact that it's kind of white on white and I can kind of see things a little better. So I am choosing, make sure I get a really good coating of that ink. Really want it good. Don't want any splotchy places that the powder can't stick to. And let's go ahead. I'm going to stand up and hopefully get this straight. Okay. I'm going to kind of walk it around. Making sure that I get all of the areas because this is very large. And the ink is a little sticky. So I'm bringing in a tray from an old tray that I had, but you can get an embossing kit that has embossing buddy. Oh, and I forgot to do my embossing buddy first, but hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully I don't have any stray static or anything, but usually I would do my embossing buddy first before I stamp it. And it comes with a brush and a tray and these little crosshatch tweezers. I can't use the crosshatch tweezers on this one because it is all around, but the tray is a little different. I think it's tray and the brush is a little different. So that is what comes in the current embossing kit. So now let's get this over here, and here's my embossing powder. This is white embossing powder. It does come in a set. of, I believe it's white, black, and clear. So I'm going to be liberal and do all this embossing powder on here. Then I'm gently pick it up, hold the edges, don't hold other parts. We're going to flick as much off as we can, much of the excess off as we can. And then you can take your brush and get some of those areas that went because I didn't use my anti-static pad. You can also take, if you get really fine areas, take your pick tool and get a little bit of that off. And then you would put all of this back into your container because it's a little funnel at the bottom. Like I said, this is one of the older ones. They have a new one, but it works the same. And then you would take your brush and get the rest of that out. But we're not going to take time to do that right now on camera. And then you would emboss it. Let's just pretend that I've used my heat tool because I have a piece that I have already done ahead of time. The powder is melted because that's the purpose of the heat tool. You need it to melt the powder. You cannot use a hairdryer because a hairdryer does not get hot enough and will just blow your powder everywhere. So, yeah. Alright. We want this one and we want 3 more because I decided it needed an extra oomph. So we're just going to glue these together. I'm just going to use some of my multi-purpose liquid glue because it is a little, you can maneuver it around because it doesn't dry right away to make sure these match up like we want. Whoops! So I'm matching them up. I want double thickness. Give it a little more oomph. I made my prototype with just one thickness of the cardstock and it just felt like it needed a little bit more. And if you feel like yours needs even more than that, please do go ahead and just add a bunch of them together and glue them together. That absolutely works. So we're just gluing this together. Like so. Right now, we have our pieces and we have our box, and as you can see, it matches here. So we want to make sure we put our bottom, just double check, make sure. We want to put our bottom on this piece. So let's go ahead and use some more tear and tape. And I just used 3 pieces for this. I have white ink on my finger. Just means I'm having fun. If you get inky fingers, that just means that you're having fun. Alright, we're going to take it in here. Give that a rub on this side because, again, that tape is pressure release. So we want to make sure that it is stuck well. There we go. Now, we're going to go ahead. I'm standing up if I sound different. And just going to eyeball this into the center the best we can. And again, we can take a bone folder, kind of rub that in really good so that that sticks well. And this is important. Then you need to put your lid back on and put more tearing tape on. Or you could put the tearing tape on and then put it on. But you definitely have to put the two together before you put your top gingerbread piece on. Oops, there's a tissue. So we're just getting the paper off. Leaving the glue behind. Now, again, I'm standing up and I'm eyeballing this. So there we have our pieces together. Now it's time to decorate. Now I decided I was going to make this a girl snowman. Oh, one more thing. We do need to make a face. So I decided to use the die cut face. They have 3 different die cut faces. You can stamp the faces or you can die cut them. So I put some little pieces of adhesive sheet on the back of a piece of early espresso because I thought, chocolate eyes, that sounds nice. Chocolate icing eyes. And I'm going to bring my machine back in. And it is very important when you're using an adhesive sheet, you put the piece on your cardstock first, and then you flip it over. And I think I'm going to give her eyelashes this time. So there's a piece where the eyes have like a little eyelash kind of a thing coming off. Okay. Is that going to be all of them? Am I going to cover it? I hope so. Okay. We're going to use washi tape to hold that down. And then put our second number 3 plate on top. And run that through our machine. Okay, now these eyes and this mouth are very tiny. So be careful you don't lose them. And you could use a fine tip glue pen instead of the adhesive sheet. I just am a fan of the adhesive sheets. Okay, there we have our little face. Put this little tiny die back so that I don't lose it. And we're going to attach our face first. Oh, okay, as you can see, the paper's already starting to come off. And we need our little face here. Sticking? I think it is. Ugh, and this one is really tiny. Use my take your pick tool to help me out here. Okay, we want to move that around. It's not stuck down real good yet. Alright. That is the one thing with using the die cut versus the stamp. Because the stamp, I could have absolutely stamped the face and embossed it, and it would have absolutely. I think she needs to. Maybe they need to come down like this, like it's eyeliner, maybe. All right, guys. There. That's good. Push that down good. No, no, no. Not sticking very well, guys. Did this one not get the paper off the back? Let me see. Nope, the paper is off the back, but for some reason, I think I might have an old adhesive sheet. So I'm going to take a fine tip glue, put a little dab of glue right there. Pick that up. We're going to do this again. All right, there we go. It's sticking now. It's all good. And then I wanted her to have a little hair bow. Now in this die set, you have a bow that is 3 pieces. And they punch out like this all together. Now, I decided I did not need this piece for what I'm doing, but I have this tiny little piece here, and just because Joy is kind of crazy, she decided she wanted a tiny little piece of dimensional um, on the back of that little middle part of her bow. So I have this tiny little piece on the back. Getting the paper off. And now we're putting the two together. And now her bow is going to go up here. I just need a little bit of glue. This little bottle I found it online with a little metal fine tip. Is really nice. I did fill it with the multi-purpose liquid glue, or the green glue, if that's what you like to call it. I'll use my tweezers. So now she has a little hair bow. And this set also has candy canes. So the die for that looks like this, and they're both connected. So I cut out a red one and a white one. And I'm going to put the white on the red and the red on the white. Using some of this multi-purpose liquid glue. So the red is going to go in the white, and the white is going to go on the red. I'm just putting in the wider areas here, which should hold it fine. And then line this up. The multi-purpose liquid glue is fun because you do have a little wiggle room like everyone says. And I'm going to attach these two together. I did want a little bit of dimension on part of it. I'm going to grab some minis here. Yes, those. I'm just going to put them on the top part, which may seem weird. This one has to go down close to that little bend in the candy cane. And we're going to put a little dab of glue right there. I'm going to do it, crisscross them, but put this part on top. So this top part of this red candy cane is over and the bottom part is under. They're all attached, and we want a little more glue. And we want to take off our papers. Oh, papers everywhere. Okay. And this is going to be here. Add a nice little embellishment. Nope, it's going to go, it's going to angle it a little bit more. There we have that. And what would be complete without a little bow? So I used this red and white twine, and I tied a little bow ahead of time. I just need a little glue dot to attach that. So I'm going to fold back on the new glue dots. It's on this side, so I'm going to fold that back, and I'm going to roll that up with my take your pick tool. Kind of get it nice and rolled up there, and then put that on my bow. Fingers have glue on them. Sometimes things work better than others. It worked perfectly earlier. And this is just going to go on our little candy cane to just give a little extra. Now she wouldn't be complete without some some buttons, candy dot buttons. So we're going to take some of our delightful decorative dots. I'm going to put a couple of buttons on. In the green to match her bow. That is shaded spruce, by the way. So the colors I've used are pecan pie, um, shaded spruce, real red, and then of course basic white. Since I can't see them on the computer, I'm going to try to bring my phone up again and see if I can see some comments. See if I can see you. Where is it? There we go. All right. So, are my comments showing? Let's see. I have some comments here. Thank you. I'm so glad you like it. Now we have our little box. And again, it with the doubling up on the gingerbread images is better for this box. And then you can put something like a little chapstick in there, or, you know, candy. I love candy, and I love chocolate candy, and I love chocolate mint. So I have these little Andes mints that I bought in the family size pack, and so they're wrapped a little bit differently. And I can put like 3 or maybe even 4 of those in there. Put the, oh, I did it wrong. Supposed to do this side. Makes it better if you if you load them into the bottom. Put them in there and then put the lid on top. So now I have a adorable little treat for somebody. Like I said, I did my second one a little bit differently. And I also made a tag. So I took the die cut as it comes. I embossed with white ink and white powder, and then I added his little stocking cap and little scarf, and then I have a little decorative dot there, and then a couple for his buttons. And then I wanted to make it for a tag, so I punched a little hole and put the little red and white twine. And I put the Seasons Eatings Baking Spirits Bright. And so I can use this as a tag on like a baked good gift. And I think that this is just adorable. I don't know what you think. So please go ahead and make your comments. And I do go back and reply to your comments and your questions. So up next was supposed to be Chrissy, but she had some trouble with her internet and things. So and then she had to go out of town. So Chrissy's presentation will not be today. Her Anything But a Card presentation will be on September 12th, which is her day that she is going to do her tip and her card and all the other things for her day for the 12 days of holidays. So this is I'll be your last presenter today. Let me take a quick peek and see who is going to be up in the morning. So in the morning will be Leanne. Leanne will start us off in the morning. So I'm signing off for today. Hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, and I hope that you are having so much fun watching and helping us show you how you can get ready for the holidays. Until next time, bye.